Hello and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen and this is my new stash bashing, which is nothing new. I did not make that up. It is pretty typical, but I am stash bashing my Vicky Boutin color study because I have held on to this for a year. And I mean, I've used quite a bit of it, but I just keep buying more and holding on to certain papers that I just adore. So I've decided that I am going to stash bash them because I really want to buy a new collection. And I just cannot rationalize buying another one when I still have 3 full collections in my stash. So, of Vicky Boutin, not 3 collections, just in general, just of Vicky Boutin. So I have these 3 papers right here left. These are full 12 by 12s. And so that one with the pie chart, I have not used. I've set it aside because I have a challenge team for Dottie about flare, or the flare hut that I need to use. So I only use 2 full 12 by 12 sheets. I have 2 sets of cut aparts. I have these bigger scraps that are either full long strips or a little bit wider. And then those are some packaging. These are mostly branding strips from the 6 by 8 as well as from the 12 by 12 and some bigger, longer pieces. And then I also have these 4 that I cut out hearts, and then I have the inside part of the heart. And then these interesting shapes. Some of them are like half circles, some of them are small, some of them are strips, just random. And then I created a layout with the that paper by Vicky Boutin that's got it looks almost like a book and rays coming out. And I used every other ray, so I have a bunch of them left over. And then these are the ephemera that I have left. And then these are the cut aparts that I have left, like that I'd already cut out. And then these are leftover stickers where the stickers are gone. And I really like some of these, especially the ones over there on the right. So I would like to use some of those. So these are the layouts I created with only those scraps that I just shared with you, as well as background papers. So I created this one with all of those little teal triangles, and I love the way this turned out. I used a black background and ended up inking with a little bit of some shimmer sprays. And then that piece that's kind of like a pie at the top, that little that's cut out, that is packaging from one of the stickers or ephemera. I used another piece of black background paper, and I sprayed my new Mica Mist by Tim Holtz that I got from Peacecraft Love. There's new, I almost said Valentine's, Halloween colors, and there's those stickers. I just think they're like a cool thing to use. I got some cut aparts I cut up and used in a way that would work for me, and some torn bits and paper. And I really do love the way this layout turned out. And those are where I did secondhand pickup from what I sprayed with a matte stack. This is the new stencil from Scrapping Reflections for September's Stencil of the Month Club. I used a cut apart, and I used a tag from the ephemera kit, and actually 2 cut aparts and a tag from the ephemera kit, and then that frame I cut in half. I love this. I used worn lipstick and mustard seed on this and added some ephemera from one of the Vicky Boutin sticker sheets. And of course I gutted that floral in the background because I am all about stretching my stuff. This, I just brought in some khaki cardstock, and I used 2 cut aparts, or actually 1 cut apart, and that little grid paper was just a scrap that I cut with my Dress Your Craft tag maker. And I just put little torn strips all the way down with some double-sided tape, and used, like I said, one of the cut aparts for a title. This took me a minute to do, you all. This is every little bit of scrap that I had left for the most part, except for what I share with you in a minute. And I used a piece of white paper, and I just put a little piece of double-sided tape behind each one of those, and just layered and layered and layered them, tucked them into each other until it covered the entire background. And then I cut out that butterfly paper in the back. I gutted it, and put that down. So I've used an ephemera piece, 2 of the cut-aparts, because that paintbrush is from a cut-apart. And then here is the inside of that and the inside of the other one that I gutted. And the extra little hearts that I cut are on here, as well as the other pieces that I just fussy cut around. And the paper I cut off from around that, I actually used most of that as well on the layout before. And then I used an ephemera piece, and then I cut apart that little clipboard thing. I actually just fussy cut that out from a cut apart. And that is really all. I mean, I tucked in some little things here and there, and I used a prompt from scrapbookingwithanemarie.com to use shapes to decorate around your picture. So I created all of those layouts with the scraps that I shared with you. I have, like I said, that one full paper left, and I'm going to share the rest of the scraps I have left. And I will probably not throw any of this away, except, well, really, I don't think I'll throw any of it away. So I have these little squares that I had cut out a bunch of them, because I'm going to do another prompt for scrapbookingwithanemarie.com using the shapes. So, and those are really good colors. I have a couple pieces from my packaging. I have these little squares that can totally be used easily. These 2 little cool half circles that came from the pie chart. This little floral, that days of the week paper, a couple of torn bits that wouldn't work on this layout right here. One more of those sticker things. I have a few more sticker things, but that's the only one I think I'll keep. This itty bitty piece of the vinyl, not vinyl, vellum. I have this from the ephemera, that from the ephemera, this frame, which is super easy to use. I have this from the ephemera, and then this cut apart and this cut apart. And those are also easy to use. I'll probably use them together because they obviously match. A little piece of packaging and a couple of braiding strips, and those butterflies will be super easy to use because they're black and white. So this is what I have left. And from what I shared in the beginning, I created all of these layouts, and layouts I'm happy with, that I love. I did all of it in one evening, from about 5 o'clock until I recorded this video at maybe midnight. So I really want to challenge you all to use your scraps. I know that scraps stress some people out, and I get that. If it stresses you out, don't, I'm not saying do anything to stress you out, but like that layout right there is just little strips of paper that I tucked in until I got something I was happy with. And the one where I just like overlaid a ton of papers, it was literally little 1/2-inch strips. Pieces of branding strip, pieces from the 6x paper pad branding strip. I mean, you can see how small the scraps are on this layout right here. So, I really just feel like if you're willing to do it and put a little time in, you can definitely make some things from your scraps. Go dig into them, and then throw away what you don't think you'll use, what you can't use for punches or cutting things out on your die cuts, or, whatever it is. But I just encourage you to use the scraps that you have and to bash your stash and get things used up, because I tell you right now, that pile on the right is colorful and lovely, but that pile of layouts on the left is far more beautiful to me, and it's memories documented. So I hope you'll come back for another stash bashing. I have more collections to go through, so have a great night and happy scrapping.